Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Debate Amongst Friends. Yes, it is Friday, or as Doc and Prof like to say, Friday, because it's the end of the work week for us. We're excited. But the excitement didn't start this morning, Doc. It started last night. Prof here, Doc over there. The Clippers got on the board. As everyone is praising Playoff P, but I'm going to call him Playoff Anomaly because this is once in a blue moon that he has a game like this. And despite the fact that he had an incredible game, it was not efficient at all. Zero efficiency. He did get a plus 23 for his plus minus, but that's paling in comparison. Onto what actually happened. The only thing I can give him was he was aggressive. He was aggressive, and the Suns were just cold. That's really pretty much what the story was. But Doc, what do you thought of last night's game?
Profit. First of all, how you doing there, boyo?
Doing pretty good, actually. Can't complain.
The Professor John Gotti, the king of RNG, the troll master, the data analyzing ninja, the conqueror of his own fate, the cleaner.
Best podcasting machine.
This game, you said it early, right? In the first quarter, I called you. I said, hey, Johnny, it's first quarter. I stepped outside. What's the score now? He said it's early. It was, 15-15, 15-18, something like that.
Yeah,
Clippers are leading. They finished the quarter 29-21, right? Phoenix comes back. They have a great second quarter. The Clippers come back. They have the quarter that determined the rest of this game, 34-21. The sun has set at this particular point. I saw a lot of people trying to blame the inefficiency on Chris Paul for some reason. I saw a lot of that. Some people said some people said he didn't stretch. Some people said he didn't work out while he was out. Some people, you know about stretching. I know about stretching. Some people said he didn't have the oomph that he had prior to the 2-week break. But 15 points, 12 assists. I'm calling just a slight bit of BS there. I feel like Chris Paul played exactly how Chris Paul plays. Obviously, shooting-wise, maybe he was a little cold.
Yeah.
But still, even with a cold night, 15 and 12 is still a really, really solid contribution. Devin, the masked Zorro Booker, with the 3 broken, I'm just going to say pieces. And then I never really even knew that the nose had so many bones in them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But 3 broken bones in the nose. Came out with a mask. I said it yesterday. I was hoping that he was going to give us a Rip Hamilton-esque performance. But that particular mask does take some getting used to. DeAndre Ayton has continuously came alive. I felt this series and last series, we're starting to see, and I believe somebody else had pointed it, he was the perfect number 1 overall pick in the last couple of years. It didn't seem like it in the beginning because they were building, but Ayton is a really, really solid number 1 pick. And I hope that he's been able to shed any bust rumors.
Again, people like to throw that out too quickly.
Way too quickly.
There's no litmus test when it comes to that.
So let's talk about the anomaly, Paul George, who we should check his receipts to make sure he does not have a sponsorship with Blue Moon. As John Gotti has said, he does this once and a blue moon. How many times a year do you really grab a Blue Moon beer, Johnny?
Never.
So you never grab a Blue Moon beer. I might do it once.
We are the unofficial sponsor. we are officially and unofficially sponsored by Stella.
So we don't do Blue Moon. So that's probably why we're not really feeling Paul George's
unless Blue
game.
Moon decides they want to give us a check, then that's different.
Hey, I will drink nonstop Blue Moons. Okay, that's something completely different. But playoff P or anomaly P, right?
Playoff anomaly is what I call them.
Playoff anomaly. Okay, PA. 27 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists. He went 9 for 26 from the field, 3 from 11 from the 3. Still not seeing the shots from Terrence Mann. I feel like it might be time for Paul and some others. Luke Kennard was 3 for 7. I mean, when I look at Luke Kennard getting the opportunity to shoot 7 shots, and then Terrence Mann, who started, only get a chance to shoot 8 shots. It's like it's time to swing the ball to Terrence Mann because he's really the person that got you here. And I want to see him at least get 10 to 12 touches to see what he can actually do. Because clearly some of the other people on the bench are not it. I'm happy that Tyronn Lue finally said, Eminem, Marcus Morris, you are no starter. Nicholas Batum, you are no starter.
We said that's the last series, though.
So
we said that about Nicholas Batum since the last series, though. It took until now for him to do it.
Honestly, he probably could have been playing this way all season. we would have got on.
The big shout outs to Ivica Zubac, though, going 90% from the free throw line. He was literally everywhere. Again, Dr. Prop literally said Zubac needs to play. He needs to play more.
Absolutely.
It's almost like we know the game. And we identify weak points in opposing teams. Like, it's not like Doc isn't one of the best virtual GMs ever, and an even better flag football coach, and he has no idea what he's talking about. Just look at the numbers.
Again, and sometimes the numbers lie.
Of course, which is why I don't look just at the numbers. I also look at the eye test and other things that John Gotti does to have to read, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, so I just feel like that part right there is where it really is, and I don't know what Tyronn Lue, what he says in his huddles, how he manages things, but I'm glad that he did notice that it was time to bring those guys down because it just wasn't working.
No, they were getting killed out there. Honestly, the real story coming out of this game, Doc, is really just the inconsistencies of the Suns offensively. Like, honestly, that's really what the big story is to take away from it. It's not playoff P having a magnificent game or anything like that. It's the Suns got cold.
The Suns got cold.
And that's all I have to say with that. Like, if they had a quasi-efficient night, I mean, maybe they would have won it. Maybe they would have lost it. It would have been at least a game by at least 3 points.
Mm-hmm. And then it didn't hurt. It didn't help that the Suns also lost Cameron Payne as well.
That's the other part. Yep. Which right now he's day to day with the ankle injury, and I know how that feels. That's not a good feeling.
Exactly, not a good feeling at all. So we'll continue to monitor. Right now Phoenix is up 2-1, playing one more game hopefully one more game in Los Angeles, and then they just take it back home and wrap this thing up. But a lot of mention.
They have to go back to Staples for Game 6.
Well, no, not if they. Well, this is Game 3, right?
Yeah. So Game 4 is in.
Right. Say it. Go ahead. Game 4 is in. There you go.
Oh, okay. That's
wrap that up, B.
That's the okay.
Yeah,
you know what?
Yeah,
thinking, for some reason, I thought it was Game 4. You know what, folks? This is why I said it's Friday.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Hopefully, they're able to wrap this up, B.
I hope they wrap this up. The last thing they want is for this to go beyond 6.
I think once it goes beyond, that's where it starts getting kind of hectic, and that's where the Clippers thrive. I feel like the Clippers thrive in elongating the series.
Yeah.
Similar with the next two teams, which Game 2 is tonight in Milwaukee, Atlanta and Milwaukee, both teams pushing it to Game 7. But I don't know who you got tonight, boyo.
Well, I called the Hawks for Game 1, right?
Sure.
I'm going to go with the Bucks for Game 2.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can't see them losing 2 straight home games.
And here's why. Mike Budenholzer heard our recap from Game 1, and they heard how much we criticized him. Forget about ESPN, forget about FS1, and those other places. He heard us. So now they got to actually play defense on Trae Young.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that's exactly what Philly did. And I told you, it's not about Trae Young. Like,
nope.
He's going to score, right? And it doesn't matter even if he don't.
Like, he's going to still get his points. That's not where I'm going with that. What I'm getting at is they're not like parting the Red Seas for him like they did Game 1.
I don't think it's going to be that. I think they won't part the Red Sea. I'm sure they'll probably do more switching, but it's really going to come down.
Switched the first game. They just didn't. They kept going.
No. It was. They were not switching because when he did that pick and he was wide open and he got a chance to do the shimmy, if they were switching, there's no way he would have been that wide open.
They were trying to switch, but freaking he was freaking 10 feet away from him.
No, he wasn't. That was poor. That was poor defense, poor effort too. But I feel like this particular game, they probably won't. They're most likely they'll be trapping. But again, it does not matter what you do to Trae Young. It really is going to come all the way down to Clint Capella and freaking Collins. You stop those two guys, that's how you're stopping the Hawks. Obviously, you got Bogdanovich. You have Kevon.
The nagging knee injury, though.
Yeah, but shoot, right? I've always dealt with a nagging knee injury. Shoot.
Continue.
Kevon out. You got Kevon out there. Obviously, you got Gallinari. You got one of the young pups back. So I feel like the Hawks can do it. They just have to pretty much hit their shots. If they can hit their shots tonight, then I believe that this is going to be 2-0 heading back to Atlanta. Because I don't believe that the Bucks can match them shot for shot.
No,
and that's where it gets absolutely tough.
Not. No. This is going to come down to how willing the Bucks are on the defensive side. And if they want to play the type of Matador Olay defense like they did Game 1, they're going to get shredded.
Yeah.
But I don't see them dropping 2 games like they did in the Nets series to open up the series. I think they're going to get this one.
We shall see. I'm not sold. I think, again, what they gave up to Atlanta as far as easy points, I don't think it's going to come that easy. But I also don't believe the Bucks have found their identity. I would say a strong enough identity to actually score or outscore a young team that's hungry and has no qualms shooting the ball.
I can understand.
We had We had other news out of the association. Jason Kidd in the running for the Mavericks job. Johnny, he's assembling his coaching staff as we speak. How do you feel about the hiring of Jason Kidd?
Is it bad to use the term privilege? Because that's what this feels like.
You know, in the beginning of his career, when he first retired and he immediately got a coaching job, that I might have been like, privilege. But now it's just like,
I mean, he went straight to coaching from retiring. Dirk Fisher did, and Steve Nash did.
I didn't feel like Steve Nash went straight to being a head coach, though.
He wasn't an assistant.
That's what I'm saying. Tim Duncan went to becoming an assistant also. That's fine. That is completely okay.
Yes. I'm saying Steve Nash wasn't an assistant coach before he became a head coach.
Well, Steve Nash, I don't know what Steve Nash was doing. Honestly, I feel like Steve Nash, he could have been a head coach somewhere else, and we didn't even know. I didn't hear about Steve Nash until the Nets called him. Honestly, yeah. So I don't know what Steve Nash had been doing. I never thought Derek Fisher was going to make a great coach. Jason Kidd, I'm not 100% sure. I'm hoping that he builds a quality staff around him, similar to what they did in Houston, with Silas. Obviously, Silas is a young coach, but he brings in veteran presence to help him. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if Jason Kidd did the same thing.
We had confirmation Steve Nash was a consultant for the Golden State Warriors back in 2015.
So he's a shooting consultant, making sure that Steph and them actually just shot the ball. Like
73-9.
Yeah, like, hey, run and shoot. This is how you shoot. Was Mike D'Antoni there at that time? Or was he in Houston already?
He was in Houston.
Okay. Maybe they brought him in after. I think they must have brought Steve Nash in after Mike D'Antoni went, because Mike D'Antoni was in Golden State, correct?
Mm-hmm.
They probably brought Steve Nash in to continue that particular system, which makes sense why he would go to the Nets and then Mike D'Antoni would go to the Nets as well. If that's what happened. I can't recall. I just know we had Mike D'Antoni and he was just
when Steve Nash was there, D'Antoni was just finishing up his stint as the Lakers coach. And then he signed on with the 76ers to be an assistant coach under Brett Brown. And then he became the Houston Rockets head coach in 2016.
Gotcha. So they just wanted to run that run and gun and that 7-second offense. And they said, let's bring in the righty.
Wow.
The Nash.
Wow.
But we'll see what happens. Frank Vogel has to replace Jason Kidd on his staff now. Hopefully Jason Kidd doesn't, take any other coaches with him. John Gutty's giving the hand signal, like, whatever, who cares, right? Who cares? Not the Knicks, right? But this gives the Mavericks, somebody that they used to have on their team. I wonder who he will bring in as his assistant coaches. But we'll have to wait and follow up with that.
Yep.
But that is the week of sports, ladies and gentlemen. I know you heard this podcast on your favorite podcast platform. But if you didn't, you can always go to our website at www.debateamongstfriends.com for this episode, as well as all of the other episodes from previous days and weeks. Be sure to tune in next week as we continue the NBA playoffs and get to see if the Suns can get a game closer to closing out the Clippers and to see if the Hawks take that lead. But be sure to tune in every day, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for more news, more analysis, and the reads.